Your Excellency, President Xi Jinping, President of the People's Republic of China, Your Excellency, President Faye, President of the Republic of Senegal and co-chair of the Forum on Africa Cooperation, Your Excellency, President Kauzani, Chairperson of the African Union and President of the Islamic Republic of Mauritania, Your Excellency Moussa Faki Mahamat, Chairperson of the African Union Commission, and Your Excellency Secretary General Antonio Guterres, United Nations Secretary General, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, and distinguished guests, I wish to convey the warmest greetings of the government and the people of South Africa as past co-chairperson of FOCAC, to our hosts, the government and the people of China. We extend our deep gratitude to President Xi Jinping for the wonderful manner in which we have been received here in Beijing and for the warm hospitality that has been extended to us, including a most wonderful welcome dinner with excellent performances and food that we were treated to last night. I also wish to thank President Xi and President Faye, the co-chairs of FOCAC, for extending an invitation to all of us and for convening this summit that is going to have important discussions and conclusions. Let us give them a big round of applause for that. We meet today when the world is experiencing many challenges. War and conflict continue to cause great human suffering and instability in a number of places across the world. Climate change is causing widespread devastation. The world is falling behind in its efforts to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. The global contestation for critical minerals is fueling geopolitical rivalry. These challenges affect all nations, but are more often severely felt on the African continent. Yet amid these challenges, there is hope and opportunity. 25 years ago, President Nelson Mandela delivered a lecture at Peking University in which he said, "Whenever the need or opportunity arises, the peoples of the world reach out to one another in the name of a common humanity." This common humanity is what brings African countries and China together under the banner of FOCAC. We are driven by a desire to achieve shared prosperity while recognizing our individual developmental aspirations. If we are to realize a sustainable future for our beloved continent, Africa, and China, and indeed the entire world, we must acknowledge the reality of the interdependence amongst our community of nations. If we are to build a future that is people-centered, development-oriented and inclusive, we need to work in a spirit of cooperation and collaboration. China has a long history of friendship and solidarity with the people of Africa over many centuries. And we thank China for continuing to expand and develop a spirit of cooperation and collaboration, particularly with our continent, Africa. So we say thank you, President Xi Jinping, for continuing Since this relationship was institutionalized through FOCAC in 2000, ties between China and Africa have continued to grow and to deepen and to broaden. We welcome the proposal by President Xi Jinping to elevate China's bilateral relations with African countries that are having diplomatic ties with China to the level of strategic relations. This, to us, shows the great importance that China attaches to its relationship with the African continent and with individual countries on the African continent. And for this, we thank you again. This fourth FOCAC Summit reflects the cooperative, comprehensive, and intentional nature of our cooperation. This summit reflects our shared desire for modernization, development, and progress on the African continent. We believe that this shared desire is reflected in the 10 partnership actions on modernization to be taken by China and Africa as announced by President Xi Jinping. Through the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, the economies of Africa are being drawn closer together. We are pursuing projects that reach across national borders. We believe that FOCAC can play an important role as Africa works to build an integrated network of linkages between countries, within regions, and across our continent. This, in many ways, speaks to how we should continue to develop as a continent that demonstrates indeed that we have grasped the need to further develop our continent, but to do so in partnership with a country such as China that has historically shown its total commitment to the development of Africa based on friendship. We believe that FOCAC is a valuable forum to support the implementation of the African Union's Agenda 2063. In the 10 actions that President Xi Jinping has pronounced, we find that all of them are in line with the implementation of the Agenda 2063. And we thank China for focusing on Africa's development. In the name of our common humanity, we must work together to achieve the Africa that we want, and we must work together to achieve the world that we want. This is what we are here for, and that is why we're grateful that China has been able to convene together with President Xi this FOCAC Summit, which will discuss the various steps that we need to take to advance our continent. And I speak in support of the conclusions that are already in draft that are going to be adopted in the declaration, supporting a one China policy and endorsing the view that the People's Republic of China is the true and only representative of the people of China. Thank you very much.